everybody, I am Mac and Magic, and today we're going to be talking about a series that got a lot of views on my little short, so I figured I should do a whole video about it, and that is the Chronicles of the Avatar series, with the new one that just came out on January 7th. The first Tuesday of January when it came out, but there are currently 6 books in the series, following 3 different avatars through different parts of their avatar journey. It isn't specifically the beginning for all of them. It isn't necessarily a well-known event that happens in their avatar journey, and I believe both of these authors kind of took creative liberties with how they depicted these avatars and did them fantastically. It really does add so much to the story. If you enjoy Avatar: The Last Airbender and you enjoy reading, these are perfect. So I'm going to go through each one, kind of talk about the differences between them all, and then you can choose for yourself if you decide you want to read them. So first and foremost, it was the the Rise of Kyoshi and the Shadow of Kyoshi were the first 2 that came out. Besides Roku, and I have to kind of put Roku to the side right now because I actually haven't read the newest one that came out, The Reckoning of Roku. I think the Kyoshi ones were my favorite. This essentially takes place when Kyoshi is, I believe, a kid to a teenager to learning that they are the Avatar. So the story basically follows them believing in a false Avatar who isn't actually the Avatar. Like, he can't bend any other elements except for Earth. And so though they do believe he is the Avatar up until an event that happens when Kyoshi's like, oh no, I am the Avatar. Oh, wow. So it really shows why that happened, and it adds a lot of depth to the era that Kyoshi was living in. And I just did a full rewatch of the original series, and I was able to pick off little things that I'm like, oh, so that's the little detail that they took, or that FCE took and ran with, because there are little details in the story that kind of explain the eras that the avatars grew up in, the different problems that were arising while they were the Avatar that they were trying to fix, but it expands upon their predecessors as well, just a little bit, because each one will talk about, this is why the world is in this state, because the Avatar was only able to take care of this conflict and that's where all their time was, versus being a very well-rounded Avatar. And I think you saw that in Korra as well, after Aang was gone and what his legacy left. And while a lot of it was great, there was a lot of other things that came up too. And despite what people say about Korra, I loved it. And I think it did a really good job at explaining why the world was in that state that it was. And these books do the exact same thing. And personally, I think that is one of my favorite parts about these books as well, is that it does kind of show all of the conflicts between the nations. It shows the internal conflicts within the nations. It also shows the conflicts with the spirit world that appeared before Kyoshi. Why was he known to be the aloof one, the one who didn't really care about Avatar duties? That's kind of the legacy that he left, but there's a reason for it. And it just adds so much to it. Not to mention, my other favorite part about these is the action, especially in Kyoshi. I think the action is top notch. It has a little bit more to it than Yangchen does. Roku had a lot as well, but I think it was a little more balanced, mainly because it was also a different author that did it, versus FCE did the Yangchen books and the Kyoshi books. Kyoshi's fighting, and especially when she goes into the Avatar state for the first time, that you get to see in that book. It's so good. It's so good. It's brutal. It's very, I guess, tough like rock. You can kind of see that coming through. If there's one book I could recommend, it's that one. Next up are the Yangchen books. These weren't my favorite books in the world, so they kind of split it this time between the Avatar and the Avatar's companion. not to mention, they also didn't really have a satisfying ending to me. It left more to be desired. It left more on the table for when it comes to Yangchen specifically, because there's a lot of court politics in it. There's a lot of... She's the air nomad. She is trying to put a lot of what she learned as an air nomad into practice. She's very young Avatar in this one, though you do see her as the Avatar. Oh, I have a pressed flower in here.
Delectable tea or deadly poison?
Look at that. Fun things that I put in books. I actually do want to leave that out because I want to put that somewhere safe. But there also isn't a lot about Yangchen that we learn about in Avatar, in the actual series either. I think it wasn't fully fleshed out in the way that I feel like Kyoshi was. But I think part of that is we already had a bit more of a basis for Kyoshi. We got to learn about her through the Warriors of Kyoshi, through those various episodes, through the one with the Conqueror. And so we had a little bit more to her than we do Yangchen. And I think I would have loved to see Yangchen's story continued. I don't know if FCE is even planning on doing more within this, but if there was one Avatar I want to see more of, it's probably her, because there is one thing that she does in... So it's one of the two books, but I think it's in the ending of this one where you see a piece of airbending that you do see in Korra, but you don't really see anywhere else, and it is rough. It's scary, but it's really cool to see that from an Avatar and kind of see the more brutal sides of bending in all of these books. These ones do expand upon a very specific type of bending that I don't want to spoil because it's so fun to be able to be like, I know what that is, because you see it in the series. And it's essentially, the only thing I'm going to say about it is it's a mysterious weapon of mass destruction that would place power squarely in the hands of the Shangs, who... That's the political conflict that Yangchen is experiencing. She also has a backstory to her as well, and her sister, who I can't remember what happened to her sister, but she's plagued by voices in her head. And it doesn't necessarily feel like it's such a big part of the story where that is the main storyline, but it's a nice little side bit that you get out of Yangchen. Again, I just would have liked a third book. A third book in this would have made me be like, oh, this is good. This is getting good. Because I want to learn more about the companions she had as the Avatar.
This was the first stop on my Avatar journey.
And now finally are the books that I don't know if Randy Rebay is going to be doing a third one. I'm hoping so, but these have just been coming out in pairs. So I don't know. It is Roku, and I was very, very happy. I was kind of worried that they were going to do Zetsu, which wouldn't have been too bad, but I wanted to see Roku. I wanted to see something about Roku that we didn't see in the series, and him being a fan of the series. I think both FCE and Randy Rebay are fans of the series, so they likely already had ideas in mind, and they worked directly with the Avatar creators to come up with something that is unique and actually lore accurate. So Reckoning of Roku is going to be the first one that came out, and then The Awakening of Roku is the second. So it's very early on his Avatar journey, and so, but you also get pieces from... So you get both Sozin's point of view in very small bits, which is really interesting. So you can kind of see what he was thinking of Roku when he became the Avatar. But you also obviously get Roku's point of view. And then there's a fun little character that comes in because he starts at the Airbending Temple. You get to see him meet Gyatso for the first time and see what Gyatso was like as a bit more of a fleshed out character aside from Aang's point of view and what was given in the show. But it also expands upon a little lore of other bender societies in the world, because that is something that was never really mentioned until Korra, when everyone was living together in Republic City. It's also explored their relationship, Roku and Sozin's relationship, and how they were best friends. So I feel like it wrapped up really, really well for a first in a duology, so I don't know where this is gonna go. I haven't even read the front cover. I kind of don't want to because I want to, read it. I have a feeling I'll finish it within about 2 days. So those were my full thoughts on the Chronicles of the Avatar series, books 1 through 6, because there are. I can honestly say that I did finish all of these in a matter of days when I was reading each one as they came out. And so with paperbacks coming out now, it's a lot more accessible to people. So if you want to see more of an expansion upon the universe, if you want to see that in a novelization form, I always say start with Kyoshi, go to Yangchen, and then go to Roku, because that's how the order I did it in. But I think Roku and Kyoshi were the stronger of the 3 Avatars. That being said, let me know in the comments if you're planning on reading them, if you did read them, what your thoughts were. I am very, very interested because I don't know a lot of people that have actually read these and loved these. So I want to see if there have been other people that have. It's definitely, to answer a question that came up a lot in the little short, they're not comics, they are novels. So like no pictures. Sorry. So if you're going for the comics, go for the comics. They are heavily printed now that they've gained a bit more popularity, and I know with the new Avatar series coming out and hopefully the movie with adult team Avatar, I think that's what's going to happen. Hopefully we'll see more and more of them coming out as well. So somewhere around here, I don't remember what corner it is, there is going to be a subscribe button. Think about doing that. It's free. Then you can see what else I come out with. And it honestly makes me feel very good on the inside to see that number just slightly going up. Just slowly. Go ahead and give this video a like, and I will see y'all later. Bye, friends.